Hello everyone, this is Stella Shalamova, your local realtor specialist. And today we're going to have an inspection done for one of my listings. And it's going to be quick overview inspection to give you some tips and advice which you have to look when you're buying or selling a home. Okay? So come on in, follow me. So here we are on the interior of the property, and we have here Peter from a North Star Inspection. And I see that you already start inspecting the property. What's this with the crack?
What we have here is your basic common settlement crack. It's nothing too severe. It doesn't need to be patched. If it was a little wider or offset, I'd be a little more concerned, but this is just common. As the house settles, these plaster walls will crack from time to time. There's another one down there starting to form. And I'm sure we'll find others throughout the home.
So you're saying this is not an issue? This is just like a house is settling?
Yes.
And
yeah,
you
just a settlement
can see
crack.
this kind of cracks?
It's probably been there for years.
Okay.
And it just needs to be scraped and patched and painted.
Okay.
And you won't even see it.
Excellent, excellent.
Also, some of the things I noticed on the interior is the use of two-prong outlets throughout the house. Those were very common and typical of the time of the house being constructed. It was to code. Today's requirements require it to be grounded, therefore to be a third hole. If you notice on your plugs, you have two blades and then a prong.
Yeah, the third one, right?
The third one is for grounding. So these would just need to be upgraded. Not a big deal, not a major endeavor, but it doesn't have to be updated for safety.
I see, for safety. So that's important for safety.
This is your water meter. The water comes into the house from here. This is your main shutoff. And then these are, actually you got two secondary shutoffs in case this one fails. But importantly, also, attached to the water main is the main electrical ground to the home. The electrical panel has a ground wire that runs through the house to here and grounds the entire electrical system. And this is intact, so we're in good shape here. Here is our main electrical panel. It's upgraded. It's not the original. It shows 100 amps of service, which means it's 100 amps of power coming into the house to provide all the electrical services.
So is it enough power?
I'm sorry?
Is it enough power?
Yes, yeah, it's adequate. It's 100 amps, which is common. The panel itself looks like it's updated. I don't know when, but it's fairly new. And wiring's intact, all collars are intact. Here's your water meter. So I would say this is in good shape.
So now we're the lower part of the house, basement. And as you see in the basement, it's very important to see the boiler and I guess the gas.
Yes, this is the furnace. It has been updated. It's fairly new. Sometimes they're marked. Let's see if we can find the date on it. 2014. So it's only about 6 years old. So what we check for, we let the system run, make sure there's no leaks, no odd noises. We check for cleanliness. We check the flame for purity. It's ideal to have a nice blue flame with no yellow or orange in it. That means it's clean and well tuned up. If it does have some yellow or orange in it, it's okay.
Okay.
But it's preferred to be pure blue. And we make sure there's no discrepancies or damage or disconnected wires or burn marks or rust or things like that. Any form of degradation would lead us further to investigate, maybe have somebody come in and look at it, you know, a heating HVAC contractor.
I see.
Some of the other things we look for is how it's vented. It's very important. Another important feature is this. This is a temperature release valve. This is in place for, in the event this boiler produces too much pressure, this valve will open up and release the water and the pressure through here. But this pipe should be down about 6 inches off the ground. So this pipe is too short. So I would recommend that the pipe be lengthened. And interestingly enough, the hot water heater has the same feature, but it has no extension pipe.
Okay.
So this is very dangerous. If this thing ever opened up and you were standing next to it, you'll get burned.
Oh.
So you want the pipe, again, extended down towards the ground, about 6 inches above. Also, this should be better secured. You're allowing gases to come out into the room rather than being vented out and outside.
I see.
Okay. One of the other things we look at during the inspection is the drains. Bathroom sinks, kitchen sinks, and wash basins. And we check for the plumbing underneath. But what I see here, and this is just a recommendation, even though these rubber hoses are very solid and reliable and in good shape, I always recommend they be upgraded to a stainless steel version which just gives you added security for against ruptures and leaks in the future, because you don't want to be away from the home. This thing leaks and you flood your basement.
Oh, that's a good point. So as you see, Peter, you actually covered every point that the buyer has to look at the property and to be aware of. What about for the sellers? Let's say we wanted to sell home. There's any benefits to hire an inspector then?
Oh, sure. We do what we call a pre-listing inspection. And basically it's the same inspection, but we do it for the seller, not the buyer. And the benefit to that is that whatever issues I find or recommendations I find that I present to the client gives them control of the cost of those repairs. See, generally what happens is when a buyer inspector comes through the house and he comes up with a list of issues or concerns, they present it to the seller for negotiation, whether to have it fixed prior to the close or to give them a credit at the closing table, which at that point is a guesstimate because nobody really knows how much these things are going to cost. So they come up with a figure that everybody agrees upon that they're comfortable with. But from the seller's point of view, if you do it beforehand, there's no guesswork. You know exactly how much it's going to cost. You get to select your contractor, so you know you're getting good quality work. And you can control the amount of time it takes because you're going to schedule the work to be done.
So in other words, you're saying to hire the inspection before you list the property, it will save a lot of money.
It could save money and time because
time.
It's already 2 to 3 months to closing. If you're going to wait and take your time, you can extend it 4 months, 5 months, 6 months.
Right.
So some people are very aggressive to getting things fixed and they'll get it done right away. And this way, when the buyers move in, it's already done.
Excellent.
They don't have anything to concern.
So you know your problems before, you can solve it and save the deal at the end.
Right. And then the other thing too is at the end, during the walkthrough prior to closing, now the buyers can take their home inspector's report and use it as a checklist to make sure that everything was taken care of.
Okay.
And then if there's any issues, then they can present it to the agent and they can address it at the closing.
Excellent. That's a good tip. So I just want to say thank you again to Peter for the best tips and advice so we can negotiate for the buyers and sellers. And, you know, I want to recommend Peter, whoever wants to hire an inspector. He's one of the preferred inspectors on my team. And as you know, we hire only experienced and knowledgeable people on my team. And if you're looking to buy or sell, feel free to contact me at the number below. And I'm here with you from the beginning to the end. You can always reach me with any questions. Thank you.